Welcome to the Faculty of Engineering, Computing and Mathematics at the University of Western Australia. This faculty offers 5 different majors that can be studied within the university's new undergraduate degrees. You can take these majors as your degree-specific major or as a second major combined with something else. The 5 majors that we offer are Engineering Science, Computer Science, Applied Computing, which I'm going to tell you about today, Mathematics and Statistics, and lastly, Quantitative Methods. If you take any of these majors as your degree-specific major, you'll also need to take the required complementary units, and I'll tell you more about them later in the presentation. So let's think for a moment, what is applied computing? Basically, the way to think about applied computing is it is the practical application of computing to the requirements of a modern workplace. Strong computing and data analysis skills are becoming necessary in an ever-increasing number of firms. This major focuses on data and scientific computation, including technologies for efficient and effective data collection, conversion, so changing from one format to another, analysis, visualization, interpretation, storage, searching through data, synthesis, and also provision through the internet. Most of you will be familiar with internet banking, internet shopping. These are all ways that data ends up with the customer as an end product. Professional organizations are extensively using computing resources for information analysis, storage, communication, and distribution. This major will provide you with practical computing and information technology skills. It would also be ideal for complementing studies in engineering science. Applied computing can be taken as a degree-specific major, either in the Bachelor of Science or the Bachelor of Philosophy. Okay, so let's have a look at the course study plan for the applied computing major. So this assumes that somebody is studying in the Bachelor of Science and that they want applied computing as their degree-specific major. So firstly, here we've highlighted the units that you will study in years 1, 2 and 3 as degree-specific major units. You would also need to select 4 broadening units to be taken during the period of your degree. As mentioned previously, you also need to select these 2 complementary units. Remember that you must take these. They accompany the major if you study it as your degree-specific major. Lastly, you've got your elective units. You can also select units for another major if you want to do a second major. Okay, now let's look specifically at the first year. So this is an example of a first year study plan. Remember that units can count towards different things. So in this example, this plan would lead to a choice of a degree-specific major in either applied computing, computer science, or quantitative methods, with a second major which could be either applied computing, communication and media studies, computer science, or quantitative methods. In this example, we've also selected 2 broadening units, COM 1001 and COM 1002. Okay, so what occupations will applied computing lead to? By far the biggest section of this pie chart is business and systems analysts and programmers. Next largest is engineering professionals, so you may be interested to know that if you do the applied computing major, you could also end up working in the engineering professions. Next sector is accountants, auditors, and company secretaries. Next sector is human resource and training professionals. And lastly, miscellaneous specialist managers. So, average starting salaries in applied computing. So this data is now slightly out of date, but nevertheless it still reflects approximately the market trend. Bear in mind this is for the whole of Australia. So if you work in WA, maybe your outcomes are slightly better than this. So yeah, starting salary weighing in at about 40,000. If you've already completed tertiary study somewhere else and you're applying for or have been granted advanced standing, you can come and speak to us about your options. If you need to email us, you can make an inquiry to enquiries-ecm@uwa.edu.au and our staff will get back to you with advice on seeking credit.